Thank you. I'm recording. All right. So the three phases, the fat loss phase, maintenance, and building. Now, one of the things that I want to talk about is when our expectations don't necessarily match the phase, this is when we start to feel stuck. Let me repeat myself. When our expectations don't match the phase that we're in, this is where we can start to feel stuck. So, for example, in the fat loss phase, do you think we're going to see a lot of building happening?
No.
No.
No. We could maintain muscle. We could build a little bit of, we might maintain, we might see a little. I mean, the objective is definitely not to lose muscle, but the focus is where?
Losing weight.
Losing weight, reducing body fat, right? So that we feel really good in our skin. Now, here's another thing to think about. Our physique is not going to change much in a maintenance phase. Now I want to say that again. Our physique is not going to change much in a maintenance phase. So if our expectations don't match the phase we're in, we're going to feel stuck. So a lot of times we find ourselves in a maintenance phase and we feel like we have plateaued or we're stuck. And the reality is it's where we are currently. And I'm going to elaborate on this a little bit more. And a lot of times we don't realize we're in a maintenance phase or that we've put ourselves in here. And that's the other things that I want to talk about right now. But I really want to land that plane is that when our expectations aren't aligned with whatever phase that we are in, that's when we start to feel like we have plateaued or that we are stuck. Because the fat loss phase, the focus is to lose body fat. The maintenance phase is basically where we get to a place and we want to maintain those results, right? We're like, cool, I got here. I just want to maintain. And that's the sweet spot, guys. Like, if we can make, like, our objective in this program is to get you to a place where you maintain shit like a boss and you never go backwards. But there's also the build phase because some people, or body comp, where people are like, I want a little bit more. I want a little bit more shape to my body. And that's a completely different phase. And it requires a little bit more food. It requires a little more intensity. And it requires something called patience. The build phase can sometimes be the fat loss phase. What I like to talk about with that, guys, it requires a little bit more mental energy because in the beginning of this game, we are changing a lot of habits. There's can be a lot of things that feel extremely uncomfortable. But when we get into the phase of body recomp, we've lost the body fat and we're starting to restructure the body. This can require a lot of patience and it can be super uncomfortable because things don't happen as quickly as we might like them to because it takes a little bit of time to grow my muscles hiding behind my computer muscle. All right. Because you have to remember also with where we are in life, we're not 20 anymore, we're not 30 anymore. So we are also in a phase of our life where muscle mass is declining. There's nothing that we can do it. We lose it at about a rate of 5% a year after the age of 40. So what we're all doing here is we're recomping. We're trying to maintain that muscle and build it, but it can be a little tougher for us to build that muscle just due to some of the things that we have going on. Our testosterone levels start to drop. And these are all just natural things that will affect us. And yes, hormone replacement will help with that. Peptides can help with that. But the reality is that's kind of where we're at in the journey. So it can even take us a little bit longer than somebody that might have a couple of years on us. So when our expectations don't match that phase, sometimes things can feel a little bit heavy, overwhelming, and we can get a little bit frustrated. So the one thing that I really want to take a dive into is how some of this can happen. So I want to talk about intensity. This is a really big one that I see. And when our intensity doesn't match the goal that we are after, and this could be fat loss, this could be building muscle, this could be in any point of these phases, but when our intensity doesn't match, we might not be able to hit that goal. So what I want to talk about here is fatigue versus failure, two very different things. Many of you stop at fatigue. So we get into the gym and you've heard progressive overload, you've heard train to failure, but you're honestly training to fatigue, not failure. And it's simply because we don't understand the difference between fatigue and failure. So somebody tell me what it looks like and feels like to train to failure. There's no wrong answer here. What does it mean to train to failure? What does that
So
look
you, like literally can't lift the weight anymore or like do another squat or like you just physically can't.
You just physically can't. Correct. Yep. Now, how would you know if that's failure or fatigue?
To me, that sounds like fatigue.
Could
If
be.
if you get to a point and you get to a rep and you can give it a beat and you can pump out 2 more reps, to me, that's failure versus I got tired. Okay. And then we go, that was fatigue. I was fatigued here and now I'm failure. Like I literally can't go anymore.
There you go.
Jules, I think like when we did our on Jennifer and I did our onboarding call, like you were telling us a story of like you were training with a trainer and you were tired and like cussing her, like whatever. And she was like, oh no, give me 8 more and like 8 more and 8 until you literally like were late, like could not do another one. Like that is failure. Like I cannot do another one,
The body failed, right?
period.
Period. Absolutely. So you guys are both, everybody is actually right here. So when Kate said, give it a beat, okay, what she meant is give it a few seconds. And if you can't do another one, or if you can pump out a couple more, that was fatigue. So a lot of times what you want to look for in the gym is failure is, I go to push up a rep, happened to me today in shoulders. All right. And I'm pushing, I'm pushing, and I'm pushing, I'm pushing, I'm pushing, I'm going up in weight. I get up there and I'm like, motherfucker, I get back down again. And I'm like, whew, I don't think I can get another one. But I sit there and I count to 5. That's the beat she's talking about. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't ever go more than 7. If I can push out after that 7-second rest, 3 or 4 more, I didn't fail. And if I get up here and it happens again, specifically if I'm trying to go to failure, and I do this a lot with my shoulders because it's a small muscle, and I get down and I get up and I'm shaking and I can't quite get up there again, I come back down, I'll count to 7 again. I count to 7 again, and this time I go to push and I'm like, fucking shit ain't going anywhere. That is failure. But if I counted to 7 and I pushed out a few more, that wasn't failure. So something to really, really understand, guys. There is a big difference between fatigue and failure. And training to failure is what is going to make the difference. A lot of times what happens is we feel discomfort and we stop. And it's very common on leg day. Very common on leg day. Myself, there is like, I can do it myself. My coach and I were just having this conversation my last leg day, and he made a comment, and we were just having a conversation. And what he doesn't, well, he does know this, but I don't always train to failure when I'm by myself with legs. and we were having a conversation, and he had put 10 pounds, like literally just like, I think he put 10, we were doing single leg presses, and he threw on 10 pounds, and I went to push the weight, and I went, motherfucker, that shit ain't moving. I'm like, God damn, you just added 10 pounds to that shit, and I can't move it. And he looked at me and he says, yeah, but you trained to failure. That's the difference. He goes, that's why that 10 pounds. And I was like, yeah, I guess you're right. I don't always. I train to failure a lot with him. So that's another key too. Like when you know, like 10 pounds for my leg should not have made much difference at all, but he tossed it on there and literally the freaking plate would not move. He had to lift it up for me. Now there's another thing. I didn't quite consider that failure because he lifted it off the rack and I was able to get like 3 solid reps before it came crashing down. So, and why it's common with legs is because legs are the biggest muscle in the body. So we start to feel discomfort, our eyes start to sweat. Okay, my eyes sweat a lot. I got tears running down my eyes. I say my eyes are sweating. I'm like, oh, God damn, I don't want to do another one. And it's discomfort. And I'm not talking discomfort as in, ouch, there's something pinching, there's something wrong. I'm talking, it's just not comfortable. The idea of doing fucking lunges down there, I know I got 15 in, but that does not feel good at all. It's really, that's fatigue. And there's nothing wrong with fatigue. We're not always going to train to failure, but understanding the difference is huge. You got more in the tank, you got it. That's not failure. Or you got a few more in the chamber, whatever you want to say, that's not failure. So a good test, guys, is the 5-second or the 7-second count. So whatever you're doing, you're leg pressing, doing squats, whatever, and you're like, fuck, I don't think I can get one more out, rest for 5 to 7 seconds. Try it again. If you can get another 1, 2, 3, 4 out of the chamber, boom, stop again. Count to 7 again. If you got another one in you, great. If you don't, you failed. And this is something to test yourself with so that you start to understand what failure is. Do we need to train to failure every single time we go out?
No, right?
Well, I would ask Jules, like, if you're doing like 3 sets of 12, do you train to failure each set of 12 or kind of by the time you get to the last set of 12?
What do you think?
I think you do it each time, but
I personally do it each time.
Yep. There's one, you are absolutely, I'm asking questions because I want you guys to like really think. So yes, you should do it each time. Now, here's the thing and why I program you guys the way you do. I know that many of you don't do a full warm-up set. So I typically do a set before my sets. I don't start with a working set. I'll slap 45 on a leg on each side of the leg press, and I will rock out 15 of them. I might actually throw another 25 on, give myself another 6 until I get the feel of the weight. Then I start my working sets. And my working sets, Prentice, are what I train to failure on. Now, a lot of times you guys see that I program with you with 4 sets. You're like, you bitch. That's why I do that.
Because the
To get
first
to
one's,
failure.
yeah.
Because
Well, and you,
I assume, what am I assuming? That many of you aren't, your first set is not typically a working set. And that's okay. I assume I'm thinking for you. You guys don't know this yet, right? So if I throw in a 4th set, that means I know like odds of them working those other 3 sets have just gone up a little bit. So could you throw a set in if you have 3 sets? Sure. It's kind of, it helps you get the motion. I do that. Like typically on leg day, how do you think I warm up my legs? I generally walk.
Are you gonna say
But-
walking?
Generally walking. But is walking going to warm up my shoulders or my back?
No. No.
No.
Huh.
What could I do to warm up my shoulders or my back?
push-ups.
Stretching. Push-ups, yeah. Pull-ups,
Could I do a set of my first set first, like I just talked about? Could I do
yeah.
a set where it's not a working set yet? I don't call it, it's just a warm-up set. So think about that. A lot of you guys struggle. You have shoulder injuries that show up. A lot of times I can tell you when you come to me and you're like, I hurt my shoulder, 9 times out of 10, it was a form thing. And you did not warm up your shoulders properly. It's going to take you less than 5, probably maybe 5 minutes to throw in those extra sets to warm them up a little bit. So what you want to think about is if we don't have the intensity in the workout, we're not getting the stimulus. All right. If we don't get the stimulus in the muscle, no change. What is the stimulus? The stimulus is when we tear. A muscle grows, guys, if you don't know this, by it tearing. The muscle fiber tears. All right. The food that we're eating, the sleep that you get repairs the tears in the muscle. When the tears in the muscle get repaired from rest and recovery, as well as nutrition, they grow. So we have to train with intensity to create stimulus. We need to understand the difference between fatigue and failure. Now, let me go back. Do we have to train every single time we show up in the gym to failure?
No.
Okay.
There are going to be days that we don't train to failure. There's going to be days we train to fatigue. But then what phase might we be in? If we're not always, if we train to failure less than 50% of the
Then
time.
maintenance.
Boom! Correct. I can go into the gym and I can train to fatigue. Will I lose my muscle?
No.
Will I grow it? Probably not.
Yeah.
So there is no right or wrong. Are you always going to train to failure? There's going to be days that you may just train to fatigue, and that's okay. But the majority of the time, if we're trying to grow and develop specifically body composition, not necessarily fat loss. I'm here to tell you fat loss. I encourage you guys to try to test and train a little bit more to failure, more than you do not. But intensity and just training to fatigue in the fat loss phase can be okay. But when we shift to body composition and wanting to make changes, specifically building and body composition, training to failure is not an option most of the time. You need to be doing that almost 90% of the time, training to failure.
So I have a question.
Mhm.
So whenever you give us a certain amount of reps to do, say like 15 is my normal. Is that like the minimum? Do you want us to do more if we can? Because certain exercises, I feel like I can do more, but then other exercises with working similar muscles, I'm like, oh God, I can't do anymore.
Or increase weight to do the 12.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do increase weight. But I'm like, is she want me to only do 15 for a reason? Because everything you tell me to do and say is for a reason. So I keep that in the back of my mind. She wants you to only do 15 for a reason.
Okay. But if you're not failing at 15, what does Prentice just say? She's absolutely right. If you're not failing at 15 and I want you to do 15, what can you do to fail at 15?
Breathe for 7 seconds and then do 4, 2, 3, 4 more.
Increase the weight.
Increase your weight.
Increase the weight. Okay.
If you're
All right.
That's a very good question, guys. So if you have a rep range of 12 to 15 and you rock out 15 of them and say you're using I don't know, whatever it is, whatever you're doing, you rock out 15 and you have 20 pounds in your hand. And you do another set. This is a really good example of working sets. And this is sometimes why working sets, you might wind up doing 5 before you find your working set, specifically if you have a new workout. I'm sorry, guys, I don't make the rules here. This is you and how well you know your body. But if you pick up 20 pounds and you rock out 15, you pick up 25, you rock out 15 again, you have not found your working weight yet. You pick up
Right.
30
Hmm.
and you rock out 15, but holy shit.
You're dying.
Then the next set you have that 30, you only get 12. You have that, maybe the next set you pick up 30 again, you only get 10. You now know your magic number. It's 30.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I see this a lot of times with you guys when I look at your workouts. I'm like, and you guys have gotten feedback from me. I'm like, dude, you just did 20 sets with 20 pounds for 3 sets. None of those were working sets. None of them were working sets. If you go through something and you do the maximum rep range 15 with the exact same weight for all 4 or 3 sets, you just did a bunch of warm-up sets. You did no working sets. If you've done a true working set, even if I have your rep range at 12 to 15, at some point, you can only get 12. At some point, you might only get 10.
Yeah.
Now you've trained to failure. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And it doesn't, you may not have trained to failure. You may have trained to fatigue. You could possibly. So just because you only hit 10 on that last set, I'm guessing when I see this type of thing in your like when I go and I look at your workouts and I see 15, 12, 10, I'm assuming you did progressive overload. But to Kate's point earlier, you might not have failed at 10. You might have kept 3 in the chamber.
Yeah.
Make sense? Is this
Yeah.
landing a plane with guys when it comes to fatigue versus failure?
Yes.
Awesome. Now, again, fatigue, guys, can work when you're in the fat loss phase, but when you have leaned out to a place where you are now trying to create a shape, and the reason why, so the philosophy that I am aligned with at Team Becoming Her is, and the philosophy that we run with can be different than things that you will hear on the internet. So for me as a coach, I'm looking to get you to your goal, your fat loss goal. Okay, before I put you in any type of maintenance, recomp, reverse dieting, and there are programs and coaches out there, there used to be coaches in this program that would put you in a recomp and start building. Now, what happens if I start building muscles under body fat?
Your body fat is going to get bigger.
It's like having a coat on, and then you're all
Yeah.
mad at me. Pissed off, right?
Why
Because
am I gaining inches?
why do I look bigger? Why do I look bigger? So the philosophy, and a lot of times there are people on the internet, influencers, other coaches that could argue this fact with me. I have always stood true on it. I'm about lean gains. All right, so I'm going to lean you out first, and then we're going to focus on fat loss first so that you have the cute little snatch waist that you want. Then we dive into building. So, and when we shift, and this is why I want to have this conversation, and a lot of times I'll let you cruise in maintenance for a while. And again, here's where maintenance will come in, guys. This is where things get a little bit fun. And this is where you have to lean in and trust your coach, be it me or another coach that you are coaching with. You can't stay in fat loss forever. If you have a lot of weight to lose, every once in a while, it's why you don't see us getting, if you have to cruise for a while and then we drop you again. The body can't take that for too long. So there's sometimes you guys do this to yourself. You're like really excited and you get yourself to a place and you're like, fuck, I'm happy. I'm intuitively eating. I love this. I'm going to use Christina for a while. She puts herself into maintenance. I'm not picking on her at all. She's smiling, but she enjoyed, right? And then all of a sudden she's like, shit, man, things aren't moving again. I need great. I allowed that. I was like, cool, pat on the back. You're doing a great job, because that's exactly where we wanted her. She has food freedom. She's living where she wants to. She's happy as hell. She got to a weight that she never thought she could. She's fitting into clothes. And I'm talking to more than just Christina on here, because there's other people in here that are in the same place. And you plateau for a while, and then you're like, why is this not moving anymore? I don't understand. I haven't changed anything. I haven't done anything differently. Yes, you have. Yes, you have. Your intensity no longer matches your goal. It's okay to maintain though. Sometimes we have to maintain, and then we go at it again. It's the same in a building phase. Currently, Kate is in a building body comp phase. She's kind of in a body comp phase. She's still losing body fat, and she's building at the same time. We're recomping, and I just threw her whole workout routine on its head, and she's not very happy with me. But we have to sometimes allow the body to have a bit of a breather. We come from an era, and this isn't me saying to everybody on the call. I want to be very clear. Every phase has an expectation to it. Everybody is different. Sometimes when we are in a building phase and we've been going at it hard, we have to back up a little bit for a while. We have to let the body chill, because the body can only take so much stress. Stress, guys, comes in many different forms. Stress can be internal or external. Stress can come from work, or it can be shit that we're doing to our body that creates stress. When stress enters the body, it can cause inflammation. It can cause insulin resistance. It can cause a lot of things, and then the body stalls. And then all of a sudden, we chill it out. The body goes, whoa, hey, I can breathe. And it starts to move again. And we give it a little bit of a break, and then we push our foot back on the gas again. So there's different phases to it, guys. Different phases to everything. The other thing that fits into this is execution. If you're plateauing in a phase, it could be your intensity, not understanding training to failure or fatigue, not understanding that difference, so that it can happen in the gym. But your execution can also be loose in other areas when you're plateauing. Licks, bites, and tastes. The quality of the food is slipping. Jules, I'm maintaining. I feel really fucking good. I haven't gained any weight. I love where I'm at, but I'm following the same macros that you've given me, and I don't understand, because it worked before, it's not working now. Well, you're still in a calorie deficit. What changed? The intensity in the gym? Intensity in the gym? Check yourself. This is an easy thing to do. I'm as guilty of it as the next person. So what changed? The intensity in the gym? Quality of your food. Licks, bites, and tastes. I've had people say, well, I've been doing licks, bites, and tastes, and it hasn't affected me. I'm still maintaining my weight. Look at me. Fucking fabulous. I love that. I love that for you. You have now hit where we want every single woman in this group to hit. You are in a place where you can intuitively eat. You can eat like your food, and you have licks, bites, and tastes here, and the scale doesn't move, and you still look good. But don't be coming at me and saying, but I don't understand. What's wrong? Well, let's take a look at your MyFitnessPal. It's the quality of your food. Are you now eating different things to get your protein goals in? Are you leaning into more processed foods? Having a little bit of fun here? And that's okay. But let's go back to what I said in the beginning. If your expectations don't match the phase you're in, what's going to happen?
Maintenance.
Nothing wrong.
You get frustrated.
I'm going to get
Yeah.
frustrated, but why are we talking about this? Before you get frustrated, what do we need to do?
Check in with ourselves.
Check in
Get
with
ahead of the
yourself.
game.
Thank you, Prentice. Check in with yourself. Absolutely. So, first thing to check in, have I let my foot off the gas when it comes to the intensity in the gym? Am I training? Am I giving myself, which is okay. I already talked about that. It's okay to take a breather. Am I getting a little loose with my nutrition? Now, many of you that are here in the beginning, you are understanding, listening. If you are listening to this recording, if you are new here, this is exactly why we teach you to build this strong foundation. This is why we teach you these habits, right? So I'm not necessarily speaking to you, but we build this foundation so that you get to this place where your habits are so strong, your foundation is so strong that you're hurricane proof. And that's when these little things start to happen. You're like licks and bites and tastes. And you're like, nah, nah, boo boo, Coach Jules, look at me. I'm having licks, bites, and tastes, and I'm staying right here. Cool. Great. Then you're knocking on my door and you're like, but I don't understand. Like I said, fire. That's exactly where we want you to be. We want you to be in this place where, man, you can cruise through life. Nicole, she lives in that phase right now. Her and I just had this conversation. She knows damn well if that she wants to lean out a little bit, if she wants to build a little bit bigger legs, arms, things have to change. Her nutrition has to change. The intensity and the level that she trains at has to change. Does she not train hard? Sure. She wants to grow her arms, she has to train harder. She has to eat differently. She knows that. She told me straight out. But I'm not ready for it yet. When she wants it, she'll do it. Make sense?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
she feels the same way. Like I told her, she said to me one day, she was like, I want blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, then we need to change your nutrition. She said, fuck. You're right. And I don't want it. I'm like, well, great. Then don't talk to me about this. Okay. You're right. So I say that not to poke fun at her because she'd tell you the same thing. Her and I had this conversation. It's the same with me. If I want something to change, if I want to lean out, it doesn't matter what I look like to any of you. If I want to get a smaller waist, I want my abs to show, and I want to look a little different for the summer, there is no question I have to move a lever. And the lever I have to move is my nutrition. And I can't be loose. I have to be tight. And the closer you are to your goal, the less loose you can be. Let me repeat myself. The closer you are to your goal, the less loose you can be. The advantage of you in the beginning is you can be a little sloppy and you can like Nana Jules, Nana Coach Amber, Nana Coach Jen. I actually had licks, bites, and tastes. She didn't even know it because I still lost weight. We know you. We know you. But the deal is, it's going to catch up with you eventually. The closer you get to your goal, the less loose you can be. So for me, if I want to cut up, I don't have a room for error. No more sushi night for Jules. Sushi. No more sushi night for Jules. No more extra ounces of protein. No licks, no bites, no taste. Better measure my food right down to the gram of rice. And if I don't, I cannot expect to lean out.
I miss sushi.
Make sense? The closer you are to your goals, the tighter your nutrition, the less loose you can be in your workouts and in your nutrition. Now, here's other things that you may not realize about being loose. The quality of your food. So check the quality of your food. If you've been plateaued, you're in maintenance, you're leaning out, have you gotten a little loose, a little sloppy with your nutrition? You got the meal guides, but you're kind of sort of following them, but you're kind of sort of not. And again, I'm not talking to you, those of you that are new. This is why we put this in place, because we want to create this really strong habit so that 90% of the time, 80% of the time, you are eating those whole foods. But you get to a certain place, and I'm not going to pick on Kate, but Kate is like, this happened to her at one point in time. And she was like, ah, hell. You know, she had lick bumps and tastes. And she was like, yeah, you're right, Jules. Like, I'm doing it a little bit. And as soon as she leaned in and started to tighten those things up, things start to shift. So that is something that we have to wait. Here's another thing that you might not realize that you can get loose with that will affect whether you plateau or not. Water. Start skimping on your water. It's going to cause, you know that if you don't drink enough water, your body will retain water.
Oh, I knew that.
You are 60% water, ladies. So you must drink water. That's why we say 100 ounces is the minimum. I drink like 120 or more. I drink a gallon of water a day in the winter, and in the summer, I'm easily a gallon and a half. Easily, because of how hard I train. There's another point. Summertime comes. We are perspiring. We're training with intensity in the gym. We're giving it all we got. We're doing all the things Coach Jules says, but we're not drinking our damn water because shit, that just doesn't matter. Drinking 80 ounces of water, fuck, that doesn't matter. It does. We're 80% water. Now the body's going to start to protect itself. It's going to hold that water. Sodium, another big mover, inconsistent with your sodium will cause ebbs and flows in your weight. All of these things, like I'm being nitpicky, guys, right now, but when you get to different phases, we have to look at these things when we plateau. Like, what is the problem? What is really happening? What did Prentice say? Check yourself. Got to do that internal check. You can maintain, but you won't change if we're loose with things. The body is always going to adapt. So we have to keep challenging it. So all in all, guys, at the end of the day, some of the things that I want you guys to really think about is the basic truth about a lot of plateaus is what? Simply our behavior. It's how we're showing up. So I wanted to talk about this because this happens a lot. And I wanted to really make sure you guys like, and again, when I say licks, bites, and tastes, we talked about this, I think 2 Wednesdays ago, and how we need to track it. My point on it today is it can even be like licks, bites, and tastes add up. You should definitely track them if you are in the fat loss phase. So if you're in the fat loss phase and you're dealing with licks, bites, and tastes, you have to know that those add up and you are taking yourself out of a deficit. Okay. You're just simply not eating in a deficit because those licks, bites, and tastes add up. And if they add up to 500 calories a day, which that can easily happen, you've now put yourself in maintenance calories and you're going to maintain. But also, like when we get into the maintenance phase, that's where sometimes those licks, bites, and tastes, you're like, I'm still kind of maintaining. I go up 2 pounds, down 2 pounds, but I can't seem to just keep that scale going down. That's sometimes where the licks, bites, and tastes come down to even just the quality of your food. You might also be hitting your macros and just not eating the quality food that you ate when you first started, when you were leaning into guides a little bit more. Sometimes we'll get to a place where we're really good with our macros and we kind of fall away from the whole foods and guides, and it works for a while, but then we don't understand why the body composition isn't changing. And that's where the quality of the food becomes really important. To be honest with you, that's when boring comes back in again. In maintenance, we have that luxury of intuitively eating, kind of pulling in some of those fun foods so that fat loss phase and that body comp, recomp phase, those are 2 phases where that boring is super important if we want to change. Does that make sense, guys? Yeah?
Yep.
Am I landing the plane?
Yep.
Yep.
Questions?
I don't really have a question, but I'm not new, but I'm fairly new. And like, of course, Jules knows I've never worked out before. I've never been to the gym. It's hard for me. That's one of my goals is try to get to a gym. But I do know that like walking, I'm now up to 12,000. When I first started at 5,000, I couldn't imagine getting to 12,000. And so, but my body is now used to it. and I'm finding myself that I enjoy it. I like to go out and walk, especially when the weather's been warm like it has here in Alabama. So, I mean, but if I tried to do everything, like walking, making sure I get my water, work out to failure, I think I'd set myself up for failure because I don't, it would overwhelm me to try to do everything at once. So the journey that, like you're talking about, Jules, is that's helped me because I focus on certain things at different times. And I find now that I'm losing weight that I really want to focus on the nutrition and then the walking and making sure I get. So it's the phase of learning each one of them as we go. Of then it's like it interests me to know that, oh, I'm losing weight and I can see it now. And so I'm not really building the muscle. I'm getting used to working out. And then when I lose my weight, then I will see, oh, working out to failure is going to make me look like that. So,
Yep.
so that's
Yep.
kind of what I'm getting.
Yep, you hit the nail on the head. So this is what I talk about. Like, one, you're very new, so you're training to failure without even knowing it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But even for you, training to fatigue is somewhat going to be failure. And this is what I meant. Like when you're in the beginning of your journey, Lisa, training to fatigue is going to work for you. All right. You just hit the nail on the head. You're going to see results, and your progress is going to come from 5,000 steps to suddenly 12,000 steps. Your
Mm-hmm.
progress in the gym is going to be from being able to do three, body weight squats to 10. Like the
Mm-hmm.
ease of things are coming, right? But you're
Mm-hmm.
100% correct. And your nutrition has always been spot on. But what you're talking about is like you maybe were a little sloppy with your meal timing and stuff like that, right?
Mm-hmm.
But yes, this is you are hitting the nail on the head. The closer you get to your goals, the more you have to be in line with all of those things because yes, what you just said is 100% true. You'll reach a point where you'll be like, "Wait, what? What's happening? Why is things not moving?" And that's why I talk to all of you about this.
Mm-hmm.
Like I wasn't really picking on Christine, but I talked about her for a minute because she knows exactly what I'm talking about, but she's very well aware of it. And you naturally sometimes will do this, Lisa. You'll go into this spot, and as your coach, we don't always pull you out of it because it's actually a good place to be for a while, right? You've won some
Mm-hmm.
major battles, and you should live in that spot for a while, but then
Right.
it's our job to challenge you to go a little bit further. Now that
Mm-hmm.
not always, but if that's what you want, if you start knocking on the door and you're like, but wait, there's more, you could get to that place and be 100% happy with it. And
Mm-hmm.
that's okay because that's the way we structure this front end of this program, that it becomes very easy to stay in this maintenance phase once you get it. But a lot of you, like 90% of you, once you get there, you're like, holy hell, I want more. And
Well,
that's
I didn't realize I could do it.
right. Exactly.
So
Right.
it's like that. It's like I didn't know, oh, I could do this because it's like like your age, excuses, age,
Mhm.
sedentary, I've never been to the gym. So when you start seeing yourself, it's like I am capable. Then
Mhm.
your goals, they're always moving forward, go forward, go forward, so you want more. And so, but
Yes.
yeah, but I would overwhelm myself if I tried to start it all at one time.
Which is why, again, I started this call out. So if you're
Right.
listening to the recording or if you are new or newish on here, this is why I said I'm not speaking to all of you because what you're talking about, Lisa, this is why we build that foundation in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
And we don't necessarily challenge you 100% on progressive overload or training to
Mm-hmm.
failure. But the reason I'm having this call and I want to start diving into more of this is there's a lot of you that are moving also towards this place. And that's where I say, like, you're going to have this awareness if you're listening to this replay or if you're here now and you're new, you're like, okay, well, that's not me now, but that might be me down the road. But you hit the nail on the head. We would definitely overwhelm you if I came out guns a blazing
Mm-hmm.
and I'm like, I mean, as it is, what we're doing is overwhelming. Asking you to maintain this meal schedule, asking
Mhm.
you to, train and do things that are different than you've ever done them.
Yep.
And if you think for once that we don't know that you're not 100% on that nutrition
Mhm.
or those workouts in the beginning, we kind of know. We kind of factor
Mhm.
that shit in there.
Mhm.
We kind of do. We kind of like go, yeah, it's just like I said with like I might give you 4 training because I'm factoring in there that you may not be doing these working sets. And if I can tire you out, I might have a chance of hell that last set's going to be a true working set. That's a lot of the philosophy. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they might take a few licks, bites, and tastes. It's going to take a little bit of a minute here for them
Mhm.
to catch on. So, yes, you are right. We know but we still really reinforce
Mhm.
those habits in the beginning, which are
Mhm.
still overwhelming, right, Lisa? But
Yes.
they are, but
Yeah.
we don't like throw the whole book at you. So this is like to understand that once you start to get to this place and you're like, why are things starting to shift? That's what we mean when we say the closer you get to the goal, the tighter you
Yeah.
have to be. But if we can reinforce those things in the beginning, it can be easier to make that tighter. Make sense?
Well, it makes you
Yeah.
want to also.
Yes.
I mean, because oh, I'm capable of it when I've never thought I was capable in the past. Now it's like I can do this, and it makes me want to do it because I see results from it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, because I think if I was trying to work out to failure right now and not seeing results, it would piss me off. And it's like, I'm done. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not doing that. It's like, it's not doing me any good.
And
So,
and just to like put some perspective into that, working out for somebody like yourself, even when Tina first started, working out to fatigue is about all that you can do, Lisa. Okay,
you're absolutely right.
there is no way of working out to
Hmm.
failure. Fatigue is your failure. Does that make sense? And that's
It
why that's
absolutely.
okay. Absolutely.
Yep.
So like for me, this would have fallen on you like that. You'd be like, what? Peace out. I'm leaving. You've been gone.
Out.
Because fatigue was failure
Hmm.
for you.
Right.
But that's where I say you have to understand the phase that you're in.
Hmm.
And as you shift phases, then things have to shift. And some of you guys
Hmm.
come to us in the fat loss phase, right? Or you come to us and you're in the reset fat loss phase, but you have a background of training. That's also going to be a factor. You've trained before. You're not like Lisa. You know how to lift weights. That changes the game a little. Now you have to, but that's to Lisa's point, that's no longer an overwhelm to you because you came strolling in here knowing how to work out. And we might be changing some things. And that's where when we start to talk to you, so you could be listening to this replay, you could be like, oh, damn. Because maybe you came here, you were training, you've been training for a while. We're working on your nutrition. You're learning to dial in your nutrition. But what could be ringing a bell with you right now is shit, I don't train to failure. I train to fatigue. You could be just new here, but you're not new to training. And that happens a lot too. And the reason why I wanted to talk about this also is I see this, guys, day in and day out in the gym. I watch females. I even see some guys. They're usually younger, but the for the most part, I see females that are training to fatigue, not failure, all the time. All the time. So I know it's happening. And I have worked with clients. So I'm also like, I'm not just an online coach. I have physically trained people. I have been an in-person trainer. and I've trained people that I have been working with for a while. And they've showed up and said, hey, pick me. I want to work with you. I'm like, you sure you want to work with me? And they show up and I start to train with them. And they're like, I'm done. I'm like, no, you're not. No, you're not. Give me 5 more. And this is Coach Jen. This is Amber. No, I don't got any more. Yeah, you fucking do. Give me 3 more. That wasn't failure. That was fatigue. You're tired. Go.
Well, if I can comment, I love what Lisa's saying
Mm-hmm.
because, and I think it's important for all of us to remember that a big part of our success is going to be communicating with our coaches and being honest with our coaches as to where we're at. Because I'm in a different phase than Lisa is,
Yep.
and that's fine. I have different goals, and for somebody to come in that's brand new, has never trained, has never tracked a calorie, doing this program can be like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing. This is overwhelming. I'm quitting. I'm done. And I think it's so important for everyone to just communicate, on those weekly check-ins or, messages and say, hey, I'm really proud of myself for doing 8,000 steps. I'm doing my steps. This is what I'm focusing on right now. And then I want to focus on this because it puts it into bite-sized pieces and helps you set yourself up for that long-term success.
Yeah.
And it's just, I love what you said about, you went from 5 and now you're at, what did you say?
12.
10, 12.
12,000.
That's fantastic.
You're welcome.
That's great.
Good job.
Yes. And
Yeah.
and that's great. And I encourage you to keep going on that, on your journey and learning each aspect of it so that, as you get further, you put all of these pieces together and you're at a different level, and everyone's going to be at a different level.
Right.
I have a different goal for my body than somebody else is going to. Somebody else may be, they're fine at this, they've gotten to this level and they're going to maintain, and that's happy. And I think that's important for all of us, because I think sometimes we get in our heads with these influencers of, oh, we all have to look like Jules. We all have to look like Nicole. We all have to be cut. We all have to, in order for us to be successful. And that's not where we have to be. Yeah, you have to keep up, and we have to do that. And we don't. And I really commend you for your going into your journey and your successes. And I think that's all great. And I think all of us need to remember that we just need to talk to our coaches and be kind to ourselves and give ourselves those bite-sized, I want to get to this, get to these steps. I want to learn how to track. I want to do all that. And then it all comes together. So I think that's awesome.
No, it's really good. And as your coaches, guys, to add on to that, we're going to challenge you at different levels. So we understand where you're at, and the more that you can talk to us, the better. That's where, like, us understand. We're pretty good about understanding things. But also, like I said, and Lisa was amazing. Like, I knew from the get-go where you were at, Lisa. We were you were very vocal, like from day one. I knew, like, I've never built before. I knew where your levels were. And that's like where the awareness week comes in, guys. A lot of it, you comes in guns a-blazing, and you want to just cruise right over awareness week. And I'm sure you can all remember that, right? And Jude's in awareness week right now. But no, she actually just finished it. She too wanted to go through. But like, there's a reason for that, because that's how we get to know you, and we're able to meet you where you're at. And the way that we challenge you is going to be different. So the way that I challenge you, Lisa, is I want a couple more of this. Like, I increase your steps, right? I know that that's challenging to you. You're going to swear at me when I take you to 12,000 steps, right?
I did.
But you did it, right?
I did it, but yes, I did. It's like,
right.
Really, Jules? 12,000? I just got 11.
She does that to me all the time.
Well, I do it to Kate too, but I do it to Kate in a very different way, and I do it to Tina in a very different way.
Yes. So she's like, you can do 12? Okay, we're going to 14. I'm like, what the fuck?
Yes, exactly. It's like, what?
All right, Tina, let's be 100% clear on why you do 14K, right? You have what? You have an injury in your arm. You are not training, but only 2 days laying
I'm only
there.
doing steps.
And
I'm
you
only
only do
walking and legs.
14K steps on the days that you are not lifting. We're going to be
Hey, look,
100%.
today I'm at 18. So 18.
Perfect.
Uh,
But guys, this is another way of communication. Like, this is a perfect example. Tina hurt herself. She reached
I
out
did.
to me immediately. She was like, "This is what's happening." I was like, "Okay." And you like communication, guys, is key. I was able
Yeah.
to maneuver her immediately. And this is
Mhm.
whether you're sick, you get hurt, whatever happens, letting us know is key because we can coach you through it. That's what our job is. And I was, able to say, okay, these are the things that we're going to do. Keep me posted on what's happening. And I adjusted her workout. And that's where I said, no, we're not going to train up her body. We're going to allow this to heal. We're going to do legs. We did a whole day of just steps, a whole week of steps. And I said, so instead of doing 12,000 steps, you got 2 legs you can walk. It's not going to hurt your arm. So we're going to do 14,000 steps all week. Because, and my exact words to her were, we got 45 minutes or 30 minutes, 45 to 30 minutes that you were in the gym training. So we're just going to take that. We're going to keep moving, but we're just going to walk during that time. So now your steps are going to go up. Does that make sense, guys? So
it
like
does.
basically,
I
I
rely on
didn't.
Jules so much. She knew I was injured before my mother did.
Well, but it's always going to be different. So, and here's the one last thing I'll add. And this isn't applicable, but if you're watching like the recording too, there is a flip side to this. There's a side of it where sometimes we think more is better.
Mhm.
So we think, well, if I'm doing this, I should do this much. And I'm not talking about training to failure. I'm talking about doing extra things. So there's different phases. We'll talk about a build and body composition phase. The building and the body composition phase looks very different. Sometimes you're in a place where doing the additional cardio isn't going to do you any favors. Doing the additional workouts isn't going to do you any favors. There's always a specific reason why your coach may have specifically changed something. So you've taken away a training day, taken away some steps. So sometimes it doesn't always go the way that you think. And you're like, well, shit, do you want me to lose my glutes? No, I don't. I don't want you to lose your glutes, and you're not going to lose your glutes. But you just took away, and I'm only, yep, very specific reason why I'm doing that. What did I say earlier about the body and stress?
It can prevent you from losing weight and improving either way. Yeah.
Correct. Sometimes we can see things that are tracking in the body, and the body might need a break for a while. It's called a deload. Deloads are very important. Rests are very important. You can be in a cut, guys. Cut is sometimes a place where you hear me talk about being in a cut. I can't live in that forever. Like you can't live in a fat loss phase forever. Again, that's where I talked about in the beginning, and I'm gonna let this go. If you have a lot of weight to lose, we can't like have guns to the wall the entire time. We got to pull our foot off the gas for a while, let it hit cruise, and put our foot back down again. Because the body will be like, no bueno. Tina got mad at me for a while. I plateaued. Yeah, I know. And it's all in how your body responds. Some people can handle it, but know that your coaches are paying attention to that. That's where the check-ins and the honesty comes in, because we're watching how your body's reacting. All those ridiculous questions that I know you think are ridiculous on the check-ins, they're full of data. They're full of data for us. They're telling us things from where your stress level is at, to where you're feeling, to where your digestion's at, to how your body's responding, all of its information, and we read that and we make adjustments and tweaks. So there's all different things, guys. So sometimes, you might be in a phase, you might be listening to this recording going, because there are a few people right now that are like, wait, what did you just do? You just took away. Yeah, I know I did. Yeah, I know I did. We're going to play here for a while. Make sense? So there could come a day, guys, where I actually take steps away. There could come a day where I actually, these things happen. There come a day where I add in intensity. Who had intensity added to their workouts? Yeah?
Thanks. Yeah.
Yeah, you had intensity added to your workouts. And then all of a sudden you saw a shift. That's because I realized that maybe you weren't playing to your full potential. So I increased your intensity for you. I added in some high intensity levels at the end of a program to see how the body responded to the intensity.
And that AMRAP you added. What was that all about?
Yep.
I actually kind of like it now.
Mm-hmm. Correct. You're right. I did that. And it was done on
You
purpose,
did.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty good though.
I've had a few of you that like it. They're like, give me more.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah, it's fun.
You try to beat yourself every week to see if you can do more,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm glad to like it. Stacy
Yeah, it's a
likes
good one.
it too.
Yeah.
All right. Was this a helpful call, guys?
Yes.
Yeah.
It was.
Any other questions? Kate, do you have any other questions for me? I know I threw some curveballs at you, but I think I've answered most of them. Yeah, good.
I want to know what Kate was eating the whole time we were talking.
Probably a pancake.
That was my beloved pancake.
Yeah.
I still haven't made this pancake because I don't know how to make it.
It's so easy.
I know, I hear you guys talk about it, but I've
56
I
grams
think
of
I
egg
did it wrong.
whites. 56
whites.
grams of egg whites, 1 egg,
Yeah.
50 grams, that's on my plan. It's 50 grams of, I use the Quaker Oats protein oatmeal,
Yeah.
and I blend it up so it's powder.
Yep.
And 50 grams of that. And then I just throw in baking powder, vanilla, cinnamon, mix it up, and slap it in the pan.
Yeah. Baking powder is the key, guys. So if anybody, yeah. So listen, if
I
you're
didn't use it the first time.
Doesn't work, huh?
It was a
Yeah.
very flat pancake.
Yeah, very flat. So the key is, if you're here, you have, if you have egg whites, egg, and oatmeal on your nutrition and you don't like to eat them separately, any of you can make a pancake. So if you have a nutrition guide and it has egg whites on it, or just egg whites and oats, or if it has egg whites, protein powder and oats, or it has egg whites, egg and oats, whatever, you can make a pancake. Now, a lot of people will blend. I actually do it a very lazy way. I've done it all the time. I actually just take the oats. I have like a little Oster blender. I stick it on my scale. I pour in my egg whites, my grams of egg whites. I put my egg in there, and then I harrow out and I weigh my oats. I don't blend my oats first. There's a lot of people that blend their oats
Okay.
first. I just stick them in there.
Yeah.
But you have to add baking powder because it's what will rise. Just a 1/4 ounce. Don't go crazy or it'll go poof on you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like a 1/4 teaspoon is really all I use of baking powder. And then the other thing that you have to do is add stevia. Some type of
Yes, I forgot the stevia. Yes,
Oh.
stevia.
Yes, you have to add some type of stevia, and then I like cinnamon powder, so I usually add that in there. Blend it up, heat up your pan, and it's going to be really liquidy. So you're going to think that it's not going to turn into a pancake because when you're done blending it, whether you blend the oats first or you don't, it's super liquidy, and when you pour it into the pan, you're going to be like, this is never going to be a pancake, but it will. It'll bubble up just like a pancake.
And fast. It cooks fast.
Yeah.
And so
don't
you
walk
don't
away.
you don't put protein powder in it. It's like oatmeal,
I don't,
egg
only
white.
because I don't need it. Because
Yeah.
I have
Okay.
I have enough protein in the day. This is just to get me, because I work out at 4:30.
Yeah.
So I need something overnight. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's great.
But if
Okay.
you could add like Amber and does have protein powder. So Amber had, I think her breakfast is protein oats with an egg white, and she has protein powder in her breakfast, and so she does add it in. Kate does not. Kate just has egg whites. I think I have egg whites and oats in
Mhm.
hers.
So then do you eat it plain or do you serve anything on top of it?
Whatever. So like if you have blueberries that are in your guide, you can put some blueberries on top of it or raspberries if it's part of. So basically what we're teaching you to do is how to take one of your basic breakfasts that are on predominantly most of your like because what else do you eat in the morning? So we give a lot of
Yeah.
oats and egg whites. So this is just a different way of making it. So if you have berries in it, sure. If I have berries in it, I will sometimes put my berries on top before I flip it. If you don't have
Mm.
berries, use sugar-free syrup.
Okay.
But you can turn, so like if you have egg whites or egg whites and an egg and oats, whatever, you can turn it into a pancake.
Mhm. This
And then
is this just because I don't like to clean out my thing every
Is that
day.
your
I
oats?
blend it up and I just keep it in a Tupperware
Mhm.
Smart.
with my measuring cup, and I just use it every day. And because I blend it up and then I just do it every day. So I have it
Easy.
on my counter.
You can do that. And then here's another trick, guys. This is, believe it or not, you may not know this. I do this too. So I had in my meal guide for a while egg whites and protein powder. I made that into a pancake. Believe it or not. If you no. Who's ever heard of cloud bread? It is not yuck.
Oh yeah.
You
I've never
add, so
tried it, but I've heard it.
you take of the egg whites, and I had protein powder, and I would add the protein powder into my egg whites. Do not ditch this until you've tried it. I added a quarter teaspoon of baking powder, and I didn't have to add any stevia to it because the protein powder itself had, flavor to it. I think I was using birthday
Oops.
cake, and I was also using the salted peanut butter, blended it up, poured it into a pan. You just have to be careful with the egg whites only one. It'll kind of souffle on you. It'll get really poofy and it can be hard to flip, but it'll flatten out after you do it. It like literally is yummy. It's kind of like cloud
Mm.
bread. Like I just
I
blended
gotta
it.
try it.
Yeah, there's so many things. You can also turn it into the what Kate is talking about, the pancakes. You can make the pancakes into muffins if you travel. So like Brenda, you're on
Mm.
your way to work. The only thing if you're gonna make it into muffins is you need to do like a one batch so you know how many muffin tins is one serving.
Hmm.
Then after because everybody's muffin tins are a different size. So you would want to make up one batch like when I used to do it before, I think I had like four muffins were one serving for me. And then once I knew that, then I could just like make a whole batch of them for the entire week. And then I knew that four muffins was and I used to do
Mhm.
that when I traveled a lot because I would make them when I flew, like when I was flying like 8 hours and I was traveling every other week. I literally lived off of those because my coach had egg whites, eggs, and oats. Like I was
Mhm.
fuck am I supposed to do this? And so that's what I did is I froze them and I would take them with me everywhere and I ate those muffins.
I made them this week, Jules, and that's been a huge time savings for me. And I did what you said. I did one batch. It made three according to my muffin tins, and then I just cranked out nine more. So they're ready to go. It's been a
And they're
huge
yummy.
savings.
Yeah.
They're
Kate
Yeah,
did
they're
good.
good.
Yeah, she did this.
They're
So
really good.
Jude did the same thing that Kate's talking about, except she just did it in the muffins. And then if you guys, here's the other thing. So there's this craze. I gave a couple people this, and everybody's like crazy about them. The Hulk pancakes. So I think there's people that. So the only thing that's different about the Hulk pancakes. So if I put Hulkies on your nutrition plan, you can make anybody can turn, even Kate could make hers into Hulkies if she wanted to. Here's what makes them Hulkies: spinach. And
Mm.
spinach like isn't going to add anything. So the Hulk pancakes or the Hulk protein shakes, all they are is there's spinach in there. And the spinach, you can't even taste it. It just makes them green. Cindy swears they turn her into Popeye. She she has them every morning for breakfast. And the first time I gave them to her, she to this day she swears that they make her stronger. I'm like, it's got to be the spinach. So I call her Popeye now. So, but you can turn exactly what we just talked about. You can make them green by adding spinach.
I have a question. I probably should know this by now, but say that you have like your breakfast and your snacks and the different things on the plan. Can you take like blueberries from your snack and put it into your breakfast? Or does it have to be each individual meal?
So in the beginning,
Yeah.
you can get away with that.
Okay. I was
But
just wondering
as you
because
progress, no, there is a specific reason why certain things. So let's just say, and I know what you're talking about. You want to take your blueberries from your post-workout snack and you want to put them in your breakfast. You've now just taken significant amount of carbohydrates and you've put them in your breakfast and you don't have them anymore after your post-workout. What are carbohydrates?
they're
Energy.
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 So carbohydrates are needed after a workout to help. What did I say? What happens to a muscle when you train it?
It tears.
Correct. So is it going to kill you in the beginning? No, because ideally you're probably not training, as we talked about, to failure. So it's not going to kill you, but it isn't also, you're taking energy away from yourself after you've trained. So is it
Okay.
going to make a difference? It can. Is it going to make a huge difference in the beginning? This is again where those phases come in. And we know sometimes you guys do these things and it doesn't matter. Then all of a sudden we get to this place. And this is really why I had this call. And you're still doing those things, right? And as Kate said, you haven't had a conversation with your coach, right? And then all of a sudden it comes up and we're like, whoa, shit. Oh, well, that explains a lot of things. So it can matter. It may not always be really relevant in the beginning, and you're seeing these results. So you don't say anything to your coach because you're kind of like, well, it probably doesn't matter. And what she doesn't know won't hurt her. And these are real conversations you have in your head. Okay. It's true. What? But then you get to this place. So does that answer your question? So no, not right now, but then also be aware of that it could later on because
Yeah, that makes total sense. I didn't even think about the carbs and stuff. I have my stomach. I can't eat blueberries unless they're cooked. If they're just regular raw blueberries, they kill my stomach. So I found out that if I cook them, they're good. But then I'm like, how do I put cooked blueberries into protein? But that might be kind of good. I don't know. But I usually put it on my oatmeal, because it's like a compote.
Yeah, and right now it probably doesn't hurt. If blueberries hurt your belly, you probably want to let your coach know because there could be some alternations we need to make. It could have to be blueberries are low FOD, so that's unusual. But do just blueberries hurt your stomach, or do all berries hurt your stomach?
Blueberries definitely do, but when they're cooked, they do not hurt at all.
Because they're
And
breaking down the
then
fiber.
okay, and I was worried about that because I don't want it to lose the nutritional value of the blueberry.
It's not, but it makes sense why when they're cooked because it's breaking down the fiber. So actually blueberries have the least amount of fiber out of all the berries. Like raspberries have a lot more fiber. So that's pretty interesting. You have Coach Amber?
Yeah, I told her. She knows. And raspberries disgust me. I don't know. I don't know if it's my
They wouldn't
stomach
be good
hurts
for
or
you. It wouldn't be good for you. They have more
okay.
fiber in them than blueberries do. So
Okay.
blueberries upset your stomach. Raspberries would have you running to the toilet.
Okay, yeah, they were giving me pain, but then also I realized that when you start this, I was used to eating Little Debbie's and Taco Bell, so when I start eating this, then of course my stomach is like, what are you doing? And then actually I didn't realize I was going to deal with some stomach issues. I was being like a kind of a baby about it, but I know there are some like I can't eat avocados and I can't, the blueberries. Yeah, so it's just weird. I don't know. And then the protein, just for if anybody else has this kind of thing, but like the protein powder, if I blend it, like I was blending it with frozen raspberries. If I blend that protein powder, it will make me nauseous. But if I just mix it or shake it, then I can drink it and it doesn't hurt my stomach. I don't know if it's my brain. It probably is. But it works.
You can fool your brain. That's okay. Good.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, so that's good. That makes sense. Thank you.
you're welcome. Good question. All right, guys. Anything else? This was a good call.
Mm-hmm.
Very informative. So as I said, guys, kind of moving forward, some of the things that Coach Jen and I have been talking about is we have the 2 calls a week. So like she does a couple of calls, I do 2 calls, and then we have Nicole that comes in and does Wednesday's calls, and usually one of us pops in with her. Nicole will continue with a very deep driven mindset calls. And then us, as we're going to start to switch to where our first calls of the week, so whether it's Coach Jen or me, will continue to be a little bit more driven around mindset, making sure we're answering questions, doing those types of things. And then we're going to do that second call. So that would be this call where I'm probably going to lean a little bit more into fitness and training and strength and a little bit more high level like this type of thing. I might dive into nutrition. And then Coach Jen is probably going to stay a little bit more focused around nutrition and mindset type of thing, because that's kind of her game. All right. So, but we figure this way, we're not always coming in here and saying the same thing over and over again all the time. And being able to start, a lot of you guys are in a place where you need some more nuggets. So that way we can really take a deep dive into some of these things. So if you like that, great. We're going to give you more of it. And we're going to try to like make it a little bit more structured. We talked about making it super structured, but I also don't think that I need to talk about fitness every time. I think sometimes you guys are going to need a little bit more deeper dive into nutrition too. So we're going to just kind of keep things top level on that second call. Does that sound good? I want to make sure you guys all get what you need. All right. Well, this was fun. I love doing this type of thing. Always drop if there's things that you want to know more about. Message me in your check-in and I will possibly consider that to put that into like the next call. Okay? Have a good night, guys. I don't know what I just did to my thing. Bye.
Bye.